my focus is just getting prepared for the season. And letting the other stuff play it out. But I'm just trying to get prepared for the season, start working out, getting into the baseball routine, and we got spring training coming up here pretty soon, so I'm just trying to get ready for that.
That was Kyle Tucker, kind of avoiding the question of arbitration. Guys don't like it, never do, never will. He wants us to pay that man his money. Okay, 7.5 and $5 million is a big difference. So those two are going at it. I was just shocked when I first saw Carlos Correa going to arbitration over $750,000. I was like, what? What the hell? Why would you do that?
But I just think they don't want to just keep, like, you have to fight for yourself or you give in on everybody, and it really adds up. And then on top of that, anytime you do take a stand, if everyone else you treat one way, but you're the one that's treated differently, you're going to feel some kind of way. It's the danger of arbitration. I think the way you handle it, number one, the player should never be involved. Number two, I think teams have to kind of soft sell
But
stuff.
that tells you a little bit about, because, listen, they gave George Springer $21 million his last year of arbitration.
Yeah, but they also intentionally kept his clock down.
But so what? I mean,
you had screwed that man from being in the major leagues and getting paid earlier. George Springer didn't get to his big contract.
That was already done, though. There was no recourse for that for him.
Well, I know, but maybe this is like, hey, you know what? We know we hurt you on the front end. We'll help you a little bit here with this arbitration.
Yeah, I don't know that they think like that. But I told me, listen, when Carlos Correa came to arbitration, dude, we ain't paying you. And when it came to getting his big contract, dude, we ain't paying you. I think they felt a certain way about Carlos Correa. I mean, as much as they loved, and outwardly and all of that stuff, they had a dollar value on Carlos that they weren't getting off of.
Yeah, you think it was because of the injury stuff?
I don't know. Maybe. I think some of it. But George was injured too.
Well, I think that if you look at if you look at time play, they probably have, obviously they factor in injury. They factor in your performance relative to the times you play. There's a value. I'm sure that based on who they had running the team, they probably had numbers based on Carlos's performance, not just in games he played, but in all the games, over 162 games. They probably have 162 game, or maybe there's a certain amount of games they factor in as break days, and they put that in there. Let's just call it 152 games. How do you play over 152? Maybe they take performance, look at it over 152, and they say, what's your performance over 152? And with Carlos, it's much lower. Well, I was saying that maybe they factor in break days.
Yeah, right.
Maybe they factor in a certain amount that they plan on getting players a certain amount of break days. But they may just say, all right, we're going to have a formula that factors in games played. And if that's the case, then Carlos obviously would end up well below, because he had so many years where he didn't. Same thing with Lance McCullers. But Lance McCullers got, he got a pretty good payday.
$85 million ain't a bad payday.
Yeah, he got a pretty good payday.
Yeah, no, that ain't bad.
And he missed a lot of time.
All right, quickly, there's an article here because we're way behind. What are you? So much about Yuli. I'm seeing a story, but it just seems like every day. Right now, would you sign Yuli for $3 million?
I would.
I'm worried about Papa. I honestly am.
I know, but I don't think you have to worry about that. There's not a place for him.
I think he'd look at the end of the bench, and there's Yuli sulking at the end of the bench.
The only place you could play him is DH. It's the only place.
No, you can rest Abreu and pay him at first.
Actually, you couldn't even play him at DH.
You can play him at second base. Absolutely, you can.
Okay, well, get away.
But, yeah.
What's the big deal?
No, right.
You're not playing him more than Altuve.
But that's the problem is, no, it's not actually. Here's the deal. Do you want to get Hensley on the field?
I'm not worried about. He was a really good he was a good defensive first baseman. Dusty didn't have better options at first. I don't worry about Dusty. I think you've got a good option at first now. Now, I like what you just said there. I think Pedro Leon may be getting some time in the bigs. I think Hensley, seeing what you got with him as a hitter. I think it would be more about.
Do you think that's what it's more about? Is that, hey, no, it's time to get these young guys in.
I think developing young guys is, there's a reason he hasn't been signed up to this point.
Yeah.
And the fans want to sign him for sentimental purposes. But the Astros are not a sentimental organization, and rightfully so.
No.
I'm glad they're not.